name is Mark McClish, and welcome to part 3 of this video series on statement analysis, detecting deception by analyzing how a person phrases his statement. In part 1, I talked about examining the specific words a person uses. In part 2, I talked about some unique words deceptive people like to use. In this segment, I'm going to discuss the order a person mentions things. Order is important. There's a reason why a person will mention one name before another name, or one thing before another thing. We can sometimes gain additional information by looking at the order a person mentions things. In the statement, we saw each other on and off. The person probably wants us to believe they didn't see each other very often. However, look at the order. On is first, off is second. This indicates they were probably frequently seeing each other. In the statement, we saw each other off and on, the order indicates they didn't see each other very often. One day I drove past a sporting goods store, played against sports. I noticed they had placed a sign out by the road to draw attention to their business. It didn't look like a typical company sign, but maybe had been painted by the manager or the owner. The sign read, "Played against sports, used and new sporting goods equipment." Notice the order. Used is first and new is second. This tells us they have more used equipment than they do new equipment. If you go into a Played against sports, you'll find this to be true. On June 17, 1994, O.J. Simpson was a self-surrender to the police for the murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. Instead of surrendering, at the last minute, Simpson bolted with his friend Al Cowings in a white Ford Bronco. This led to the slow-speed Bronco chase that was seen on national television. That same day, a letter written by Simpson was found at his residence. The letter read as a goodbye letter. Since Simpson was suicidal in the Ford Bronco, his letter became known as the suicide letter. In the letter, Simpson talks about his relationship with Nicole, writing, "Nicole and I had a great relationship for most of our lives together. Like all long-term relationships, we had a few downs and ups." How would you phrase the last part of that statement? Most people probably say ups and downs. That's because you'd like to think you have more ups in your life than you do downs. Despite saying that a great relationship, Simpson's order of words betrayed him when he wrote downs and ups. This means they had a very rocky relationship. That's what the 911 calls by Nicole and the battered photographs of Nicole would indicate. Order is important. There was a case in which a man was suspected of selling illegal drugs. He voluntarily submitted to a police interview in which he denied being a drug dealer. During his interview, they asked for his address. He stated he lives at 141 West Sand Street, Kendal, Florida, apartment number 10. Now I made up that address, but I used the same order he used. He placed his apartment number at the end of the address. According to the U.S. Postal Service, the correct way to address an envelope is to write first the person's name, then the street address, apartment number, followed by the city, state, and zip code. Our suspected drug dealer unknowingly arranged his address in a different order. What this tells us is he's trying to distance himself from his apartment. He doesn't want to be associated with his residence. When the police searched his apartment, they didn't find any drugs, but they found illegal firearms. Now we know why he put his apartment number at the end of his address. Order is important. The subject has given us additional information by the order he mentions things. By examining the order within a statement, you may be able to detect deception or gain additional information. If you're interested in learning more about order and other statement analysis techniques, visit my website at StatementAnalysis.com. I have a famous cases page in which I analyze cases involving prominent people in the news. By reading my analysis, you can learn some additional techniques in detecting deception. I also have an on-demand training course, and I've written 2 books about the statement analysis techniques. I Know You're Lying and Don't Be Deceived. The books are available through my website and at Amazon.com. Be sure to watch part 4 of my video series on statement analysis, in which I talk about verb tenses. Thank you for watching, and remember, people's words will betray them only if someone is listening.